All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out the Rich Celenza Show. So, what I'm going to get into today is morning workouts. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this podcast, but I think I most likely will call it Morning Workouts Are Not Always the Best Option. And I see this more and more with people, I guess because I think the internet, YouTube, or just a lot of people in general think the best time to work out is in the morning. I don't know who's programmed like this in a lot of people's heads, but it is something that I think a lot of people think it's the best option or the best way to go. I do understand when waking up a lot of times, you're supposedly, you're fresh. That's when you might have the most energy. I don't believe that. I don't believe you're fresh either. Actually, I am against working out in the morning, and it's not just because I'm not a morning person, but I have had the opportunity throughout my entire life of working out at different times throughout the day. And I'm not talking for short amounts of times. I'm talking for years. I've done the 6, 7 in the morning workout till 8 or 9 o'clock because I had a job where I had to get to work at 9, right? Or even 8. I've done the early morning. I've also done the, 9 to 11 type of workout because of my job when I was working afternoon, say, for instance. I've also done noon to 2. I've done 2 to 4, 6 to 8, 7 to 9. I've done everything. Even when I had children, I was doing 9, 10 o'clock to midnight. Truthfully, even when I was traveling for long periods of time, I was even doing workouts at 24-Hour Fitness from like midnight to 2 in the morning. I've done, for long periods of time now, mind you, I have done every type of hour increment, I guess you could say. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying I know what it is to work out at all different times of the day. And I talk about this a lot on my podcast or videos. You have to find specifically what works for you. The one thing I don't like about morning workouts, and are doing more and more research on this, say you jump out of bed at 6 or whatever time in the morning, 7, and you immediately go into a workout. I don't feel properly warmed up. For me, especially as I got older. Jumping out of bed after laying in bed for, it could be 7, 9 hours. Then all of a sudden, a half an hour later, it could be even less, or it could be an hour or whatever. Now you're full blown, kind of in your workout. Even if you stretch. For me, throughout the day, I'm almost always warming up. I am definitely more of a guy who likes to work out 2 to 4 maybe, or maybe even 5, 6 to 8. That's peak times for me. But I get a lot of people, again, live different lifestyles. But I am going to just kind of talk about what I went through. Even we were at a Super Bowl party, and we were talking, a lot of people are always talking about fitness, what they do working out. And, a lot of people, again, insist that they have to work out in the morning. I get it. Because they want to knock it out before work, and then they feel energized, which I don't believe most of the time, because most people I know that do work out early in the morning, that I know, especially that are older, middle-aged, are very fatigued. Maybe not for the morning, but after the afternoon, I can tell they are running out of juice, usually. That is just my opinion most of the time of them. And I get that they want to go to bed early to work out, but I'm just saying around dinner time, a lot of people I know that get up early and work out, they are fried. They are a lot more tired throughout the day. Now, if you're younger, that's a different thing. And again, you may be a different person. You may be a person that loves to work out in the morning and you build energy throughout the day and none of this phases you. This is just what I see, in my opinion. I also notice a lot of times in the morning, and I don't care where you live, it's a lot colder. So we live in Florida and we were discussing, even the winters in Florida aren't as warm as people think necessarily. When I lived in California, that was the biggest fooler of all times, how cold the winters got. But regardless if it's Chicago, New York, I don't care where you're at, the morning, if you do work out, say outside or do something outside, obviously it's a lot colder. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the way it felt on my tendons, my joints. And we were talking yesterday that, somebody who wants to go swimming or even walking in the morning in Florida in the winter, it can be a 20-degree difference, right? And if you're middle-aged again and you're out there and say you could go, maybe you could do your workout in the afternoon or maybe even later in the evening, or, it's warmer. You're talking sometimes 15, 20 degrees. Now, again, if you're training for something, again, that's different. But I'm just saying, like somebody having to go to the pool at 6:30 in the morning, even in Florida in the winter, and if that pool's, even if it's heated or not, a lot of times it is cold. I don't understand that, because if you waited a few hours even, the temperature is going to definitely change. I also think a lot of times people almost want to suffer. I'm just going to say that with working out. A lot of people, they don't want to spend money in the gym, right? So they'll be like, they either live in an apartment complex, townhome, or they built, they have their own garage, whatever the case may be. A lot of times just by joining a gym is going to accommodate you a lot more than you think it is. You may not want to be around people, or you may think COVID, or I'm going to get sick, whatever the bullshit is. I'm just here to tell you, a lot of times, again, back to swimming in the morning, outside in your complex or whatever. I'm just using somebody in Florida, guys I know in California. You go to a gym, you got an indoor pool. It's usually heated, way better. It's a lap pool. Now I get sometimes you may get there, there may be people in there. But I also think a lot of times if you're going to use it for a workout, you go to a lot of pools, there's a lot of people in them too. Like even if you're, in your complex, let's say, and it may not even be set up to do laps, for instance, where if you go to a place that, you love swimming, you could go where they have an Olympic-sized pool or something in that nature. But back to mornings. Listen, I get it. Again, I'm going to say it. If you love mornings, you love it. But I'm here to tell you, if you really are not getting good workouts, consistent, but you still insist on the morning, one of the things is you just may, your body just may not be calculated to do that type of workout in the morning, or it just may not want to work out at that time. And I think a lot of times we're like, well, this is the time I can only fit in, or this is the only time I want to work out. Well, things change and evolve. It's just the reality. Kind of give yourself the freedom to test different times. One of the things I think that hurt a lot of people when it comes to fitness is if they don't work out in the morning, they dread working out throughout the day, or they dread that they did not work out through the day, or they dread that they have to work out. So it's on their mind. It's very daunting, right? I get it. But if you can kind of get that bullshit out of your head and just say, you know what, I'm going to start working out maybe after work, just trying it. Now, if you have kids, you have other obligations and all that, I get it, then that's very hard or complicated. You also may consider actually even around 8 or 9 o'clock. I used to get amazing workouts later at night. I know I'm more of a nighttime guy, but the trick with me was I would take a nap throughout the day, even if it was right before I went to work out, if I worked out later at night. But I'm going to tell you the benefit of that. Again, you may be like, no, I don't have enough energy. You don't know that till you try it. Because there's a lot of people out there that build up energy throughout the night. You may be somebody like this, or you may have done that throughout your life, and then all of a sudden you changed it up. But here's the deal a lot of times when working out at night, especially if you have a family or whatever the case may be, I would put my kids to sleep, or whatever, 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'd go to the gym. I had the clearest mind I've ever had. The day was done, really. If I had whatever I had to do with my kids, whatever I had to do at work, whatever, it was all behind me. Now I would just go to the gym and just work out. And then a lot of times I'd work out, go home, maybe watch a little TV or do some writing or reading, and it would knock me right out. It was wonderful for that. And a lot of times, comparing, I should say, morning to nights, a lot of times when you're working out in the mornings, now if you have a lot of time, that's one thing, but a lot of people I talk about it, they rush their workouts. 1 minute they have an hour and a half to work out. Before you know it, they're running late, or they're taking calls, they're looking at their emails, they're on the phone, they're texting. It's like they're almost working through the workout a lot of times for a lot of people. Okay, so their mind really isn't on the workout, and then obviously they go throughout their day and they got to do whatever they do. Again, when I was working out later, even if it's, say, after work, just in general after work, you go home and eat dinner with your kids, your family, and they kind of want to do their own thing depending on your kid's age and going to work out at 6 o'clock. Again, everything is behind you. Most of your day is done. I mean, you may want to think about what you're going to do tomorrow, but it's not that, that mindset where it's like, I have to get out of the gym, I have to rush, I have to go here, I got to do this. It's a whole different thing. A lot of people, and I don't mean to bum rap a lot of people, most people after dinner sit on their ass, especially during a pandemic or whatever, I see I'm watching TV for 4 or 5 hours or even longer. I don't like, again, a lot of people have time to work out in the evening. They don't take advantage of that. Here's the other thing, and I talk about it a lot when you do early morning workouts, which is great if you got to do them, is a lot of times getting up early, you didn't get enough sleep. I'd say most people do not. Where that extra sleep, those extra hour, or two in the morning is huge benefit-wise. They don't look at it like that. But I will tell you, like say Super Bowl last night, we watched the whole Super Bowl. If you're going to bed at midnight, or leaving actually at midnight, by the time you get to bed, it's 1 in the morning. If you're going to get up at 6 in the morning to work out, you have 5 hours sleep. I'd definitely be like, that's bullshit. How am I going to feel throughout the day? But I'm going to get the workout in, sure. What type of workout am I getting in? Is it really a good workout? Losing sleep. Like, my sleep is as important as my workout. That's how I look at that. So by losing sleep, that's not benefiting me. So you're like, no, the workout's more important, and who cares about the sleep? They're both, to me, very important. Being raised in the bar nightclub business, I used to talk about this a lot with my father. We would see people, and you just knew when it came to people that did not sleep. After a while, if you keep neglecting your sleep, which a lot of people do, and a lot of people that work out are the kings of this for some weird reason. They're almost, they're more caught up in eating right and their exercise routines, just really kind of neglect their sleep. Or they think they're getting enough sleep. They convince themselves, no, I only need 4 or 5 hours. Oh, I can live off 6 hours. Maybe you can. But most people I know that live that lifestyle, regardless even if they work out or not, they look, for the most part, exhausted. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. They have black rings under their eyes. They're usually, you can just tell they're out of juice a lot of times. They're just tired. They're foggy. And they'll a lot of times even admit this. So I don't know why people do this. But I just wanted to do a quick podcast on this. Listen, find what works best for you. I can't be more, and what, I should say this too. A lot of times I'm like, find what works best for you. All right, this is the only time that works for me. So, you know what? Get creative. You definitely may be able to do a lot of things. That's not the only thing that works for you. Also, you want to do a couple morning workouts? That's wonderful. Maybe consider 2 morning, 2 afternoon, or 2 night. Or consider weekends. I discuss this all the time. You kind of get up whenever you want and then go right to the gym. How's that one? Or working out, just, kind of flip-flopping a little bit. And I know people are like, no, I have to have a certain routine. I need that 24-hour turnaround, all this. You really don't. You're not a professional athlete. Most people, if you're training for a certain, again, a marathon or a show, a bodybuilding, powerlifting, or a yoga instructor, whatever, that's different. I'm just talking about the average Joe out there. Enjoy your workout and enjoy the time you're working out. All right, that is what I believe is going to keep people usually motivated. And, it's just I don't know why fitness, people believe they have to suffer or it has to be excruciating. I just went through this with one of my cousins that, he is finally doing something different, I think, with his workouts. And because of the pandemic, kind of forced him to do that, which is great. Right? He's finding things he loves to do, where before he may have just been kind of a gym rat that always went to the gym and then would quit and then go and then quit and then go and then kind of find other things. But now he's kind of, reinventing his workout and himself kind of physically. And that's kind of how you got to look at this stuff sometimes. What may have worked in the past may not be working now, especially as you're getting older. But I am going to say, it's for me, because I know I'm 51. Warming up, getting that blood flow throughout the day is one of the most important things, because I do not want to get injured. Me waking up in the morning, if I had to do it, I'd have to do it. But I really don't want to do it. If I had to get up and in a half an hour, even if I'm stretching or warming up, I don't believe mentally I'm there. Again, that's just me. And physically, I just did not have enough blood flow. And I'm just not, my bones and everything are just not warmed up. Like I said earlier, me going throughout my day and doing a lot of different things, it may not even be physical labor. It could just be walking. All right. It could just be me doing things around the house. Whatever the case may be, I'm kind of getting that blood flow. I'm warming everything up. So when I do go to the gym, I'm kind of really ready. I think a lot of people, again, in the morning, they are not ready. I'm just telling you, they're kind of just going through the motions a lot of times. I also see they're not pushing themselves. So it becomes more routine, which is fine, than it is kind of, I guess you could say, more energetic and more creative. So I'm going to wrap it up there. You got any questions or comments? Hit me up. That's it. Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.